I could see myself coming in there, stepping right in the middle of that, telling them, well, I tell you what, players, ain't no use y'all keep arguing and talking about this. Both of you are tough competitors in the ring. I think the way we settle this to see who's going to be in charge is Adam Pearce goes one-on-one with Nick Aldis.
Well, Teddy, would you, is your referee license still in effect? Can you get in there and referee that match?
I can still move around, player.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to an all-new episode of the Wrestling Time Machine by Sportskeeda. You can find us on YouTube under Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda. All of our videos drop right there. You can also find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, just anywhere. Just look us up under Sportskeeda, and it's the Wrestling Time Machine. I'm your host, Mac Davis, along with my two famous co-hosts, Mr. WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. Hey, Teddy.
Hey, what's going on there, Mac? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, brother. And we got, of course, our other brother in here, and that is pro wrestling journalist, Mr. Bill Apter. Hey, Bill.
Great to be here. And, don't forget Teddy, former SmackDown general manager. I mean, the general managers have been, going off the wall. I wish you were back, Teddy.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, let's start off talking about that. One of the things that I know that, Bill, you mentioned you'd like to talk about is the Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis possibilities of the confrontation between the two of them.
Oh, yeah. Teddy, have you been seeing some of that, too?
I saw just kind of briefly. I hadn't been following it because I didn't really think they were really going to go that way. I thought they were going to basically give these two guys a chance to, get things going. And who knows?
It's going. I have a feeling, they've been looking for a way to get Nick Aldis back in the ring, and they've been looking for. Adam Pearce is an incredible wrestler. He wrestled in the NWA. He was he was coughing. Yes, but. He was incredible, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. And I have a feeling somewhere down the line, we are going to see, this is the reason they're crossing, one showing up on SmackDown, the other one showing up at the same time on Raw. And I have a feeling we're getting set to see a confrontation where usually when it's two non-wrestlers, because a lot of the younger fans don't know that either of them were wrestlers before, would be something they'd laugh at, but this wouldn't be that kind of confrontation. This would be a serious wrestling match.
Would that sell tickets, Teddy?
Well, yeah, I do. And like I said, I'm not, campaigning or nothing, but I could see myself coming in there, stepping right in the middle of that, telling them, well, I tell you what, players, ain't no use y'all keep arguing and talking about this. Both of you are tough competitors in the ring. I think the way we settle this to see who's going to be in charge is Adam Pearce goes one-on-one with Nick Aldis.
Well, Teddy, would you, is your referee license still in effect? Can you get in there and referee that match?
I can still move around, player.
Yeah, let's just hope they don't have too many falls.
Don't bother me. Remember, I'm a guy
that would kill me.
I'm the guy that do an hour cardio 4 days out of the week. Been doing it for over 20 years.
Let me ask you, though. You're talking about Nick Aldis, and I don't know that that's the best program for him. I'm not sure that's where I'd like to see Nick go, to be honest with you. I'd rather see...
No, it's not. It's not the best program for him. Definitely not. But I just think in terms of an angle and fan interest, what the heck? It might be a good program there in terms of, a one-shot deal. Feud of the managers, of the general managers.
Yeah, I can see a lot of use for Nick Aldis, down the line in WWE. And let's not forget that his wife, Mickie James, is a free agent right now. So she could actually come over to WWE too. There could be some interesting storylines made out of that if they play up to the fact that they are married. Nowadays, most fans know who's married to who, and you can't really hide that anymore. So they might as well let people know and use a storyline out of it, because I think it could be one hell of a storyline between the two, because they're great athletes, both of them.
Sure.
Let's talk about Randy Orton. He returned to WWE as it was announced for War Games. He'll be on the team joining Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. And they'll be going up against the Judgment Day, being Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and JD McDonough being the other side. And I'm forgetting somebody there. Who am I forgetting there? Bill, who am I forgetting?
Not Rhea Ripley.
No.
Finn Balor.
No, not Finn Balor. Wait, see, I can tell you weren't
J.D.
fan.
Madonna.
Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is the name that I was missing that I forgot
I
to mention.
still don't associate him with Judgment Day, which is why it didn't come off the top of my head. But I want to tell you something. The other night on Monday Night Raw, whenever you're watching this thing, when you talk about an attitude slowly, week to week, getting more and more aggravated to the peak of it on Monday Night Raw, he was amazing in that promo.
I thought it was one of his best promos that he's done since he's been in WWE, especially he just seemed natural on the mic last night as we're recording this. I thought he did a tremendous job, and he did exactly what we were talking about on our last show. He's not a member of Judgment Day. He was just pretty much a hired hand for Judgment Day. That he was doing what he had to do because he's always been the same guy. That's what he's always said. I've always been the same guy, So, so I think we're going to see that's pretty much where it's going to go. But what do you think about the War Games match coming up, Bill? Who do you think is going to walk away?
Personally, I think there's more to this than we're seeing. I think there's going to be a jealousy triangle here between Rhea, Dom, and Drew McIntyre. I think that's where they're going with this thing.
Yeah, and see, I kept thinking that maybe it was going to be Drew McIntyre eventually, butting heads with Damian Priest. That's who I thought they were going to have the biggest issue with. And I even now, I'm still wondering, during War Games, does Damian Priest turn? And does that cause Judgment Day to lose? Just the thought.
Well, that's a good thought. But, we just don't know right now. But that's really something to think about right there. The guy turns there and causes Judgment Day to lose. I mean, that's something to pay attention to.
Keep in mind, he still has that Money in the Bank briefcase. So turning him good guy, is that going to hurt any storylines in terms of him cashing that in down the road?
Depends on who he's going to cash it in on.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too, I don't think it would hurt anything now. You know what I mean? People just, they just want to see the right thing happen. Then you got some people who want to see the bad thing happen. So I don't think it'll hurt anything. I think it'll be just something brand new.
Let me ask another question about Monday Night Raw that kind of came to mind as I was watching. And, they announced that Randy Orton would be joining the team with Cody. I get a feeling that maybe we saw Randy announced a little bit early instead of being announced on the pay-per-view itself for the premium live event, mainly because they're going to be in Chicago. And a lot of fans weren't sure if it was going to be him or if it was going to be CM Punk. So it could have been WWE's way of saying, hey, look, it's not going to be CM Punk. We're going to tell you who it is right now to save that Chicago crowd from chanting CM Punk the entire time. Is that what you think may be happening right now, Bill?
Well, I think that they announced that because it strengthens the pay-per-view gate, so to say. I really do. I think people want to see Randy back again, and I think no matter what, it's Chicago, and CM Punk chants are going to go on anyway.
So what happens now as we get closer to, and Teddy, this may, being backstage and how it runs back there, CM Punk is still in the back of a lot of fans' minds that he's going to show up in WWE. So if it's not going to be in Chicago, the next place it can be is going to be another surprise type of event for WWE. Would be, oh God, it's awful. Royal Rumble. I'm sorry. Royal Rumble coming up in January. So when that comes up, again, we could get back into a situation where you're waiting for that guy to come out and you're all excited because you think it's going to be CM Punk. But instead, it's somebody else. And if you remember, Batista and Daniel Bryan had that issue years ago, and everybody was hoping that, that Daniel Bryan was going to come back, and Batista came out. It was his debut, and it fell flat. The fans did not want it. So is that something that WWE has got to be careful of in this case with CM Punk?
I don't think so. I think that right now with the way that they're doing, this could be a tease, and that's what it kind of looks like to me, maybe more of a tease. And I think right now the people just really want to see CM Punk, settle somewhere. And so I think if he does, whenever he comes, it's going to still be a big reaction because, like I said, anybody with any common sense could know. I mean, if he comes back to WWE, where else is there to go? You know what I mean? So I think that would be his final destination, and then they'll go on from there. But I think it'll be just exciting whenever they do it.
Yeah, I think with the reorganization of TNA at this point, from Impact to TNA, and everything that everybody I talked to backstage loved having him there, and he felt like part of the family. Who knows? I mean, maybe that would be their ticket to growing their product again. I don't know if he's too crazy about coming back to WWE. That's where they all want to see him. He's not going back to AEW. That's for sure. He's not going to Ring of Honor. That's for sure. NWA, maybe. But I just have a feeling that TNA would be a good spot for him at this time to help that company grow and for him to be comfortable.
I agree with you, Bill. I hadn't really thought about that. And for him to go to TNA right there, you're exactly right. That would certainly help them grow. And I believe Punk would work with them. I think they've got the money to pay him what he's comfortable with. And I think he'd like that too. You know what I mean? Because that way it puts him in a position where, hey, let me see where I am in this business. What can I still do? You know what I mean? It gives him a little bit of confidence too. You know what I mean? So I like that idea too, Bill. To see him, come back there, that would really give them a big boost.
Or there's also the option of going to Japan a few times a year, and just going there to keep in shape, keep going in the business, and making some really good bucks.
And it's not so certain that he's not still maybe going to go back to AEW. I think it's a really long shot, but now there's a character that's on AEW's The Devil. Nobody knows who the Devil is because he wears a mask. A lot of people are now saying that it could be CM Punk under that mask, and that he could have been worked. I don't believe so for a second, but that's still being thrown around out there. And if you're AEW, Tony Khan's got to do something for his ratings, because right now he's not doing a whole lot, and he's got.
You know who the Devil is? I can tell you right now. I can reveal it. Remember in WCW, the Black Scorpion? That's who he is.
Ric Flair under the hood, and he is employed by AEW.
Oh, God! You just hit on something that nobody has thought about. What if, and it doesn't have to be a wrestler, that's the Black Scorpion?
That you'd never know.
Can I bring something up that we don't have on our list?
Okay.
Okay. I was talking to an old friend who's not old, and he's one of the midget wrestlers.
Yes. Short
Sleeve Samson. And we were discussing how much we loved the midget wrestlers when we were all growing up, and the midget mini luchadors and all that. And we were talking about, if midget is the proper way to call a wrestler of.
Yeah, we talked about that recently on one of our shows.
Yeah. So I'm planning to do an interview with him, and I just want to see if the two of you have the same feeling I do, that, and especially for the kids, that midget wrestling needs to be brought back again.
I have no problem with midgets in wrestling. I always look. I grew up during a time when there were always a midget. That was not uncommon. Right. The only problem I had with the midgets was that in the last few years, if you say the word midget, somebody thinks you're being rude, and it's like, well, I asked him about that. And what he's
I asked him about that, and he said to me that no, he calls himself a midget wrestler, and you cannot tell him that that's not respectful, because that's what he calls himself. And he says all the guys in like micro championship wrestling and all that, they call themselves midget wrestlers. And he says there's nothing.
Yeah, that's what they are. That's what they are.
Yeah, wait, look, Teddy and I work with a midget in Georgia wrestling that we've had some great moments with. He's just funny, and the kids love him. I don't care how old. I mean, how how that midget looks, the kids, for whatever reason, find themselves attracted to the midgets because they're about the same size, and they feel like that's one of me in there.
Well, there's so much you can do with them now. You know what I mean? There's so many characters out there that are part of TV and Disney and all that. So there are a lot of things you can basically do with them now. So I'm like Bill. I'd like to see them come back too.
I would too.
And it's not politically incorrect because he is what he says. He's a midget, and this is what he says, and he says it's definitely not politically incorrect.
No.
Yeah, I call my wife a midget or Oompa Loompa all the time because she's only like 5'2", and I'll say that in public. She says, "You can't say midget in public." I'm like, yes, I can. I'll say whatever I want. If anybody's out there that feels that that's the wrong term, we are not trying to be politically incorrect here. We're discussing what was when I was growing up. Every card on Madison Square Garden had the amazing midgets on them, and people flocked to see them. They were superstars. Bring them back. Mexico uses them all the time. Who were some of your famous midgets? Who were some of the midgets that you remember, Bill, growing up?
Oh, God. Skylo Low, Little Brutus, the Haiti Kid. I mean, they were just great. You remember the Haiti Kid, Teddy?
Yeah, I remember him.
Teddy, do you remember any midgets working with them back in the Jim Crockett days?
No, nobody but... No, Hornswoggle wasn't even in the Jim Crockett days.
I'm trying to think, Bill, who was that in the Jim Crockett days? Was there a midget in Jim Crockett days?
I don't remember them having midget wrestling regularly. It was mainly Vince McMahon Sr. that booked them all the time. And Skylo Low, who is the Little Brutus, Skylo Low, who is the midget champion, his wife was like 6'2". Wow. And when they would go out in the town after the matches in New York, every newspaper was there and covering that.
That's how you get attention.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, anything coming up for you guys? No, that's perfectly fine. Because we asked that question several shows ago about midgets, and is it okay to call them a midget? So I'm glad we found out that it is, at least according to another midget, that it's okay to say midget. I agree. I think when it comes to marketing for the kids, the word midget, and it just works. It just does.
Yeah.
All right. Anything coming up for you guys that we need to talk about?
No. Nothing's coming up but WrestleCade. That's coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
Friday,
Wish I could be there.
The big days, Mac and we'll be there as a special guest, and we'll be doing live stuff for the road trip after hours. Also, the following week, I guess that's around December the 5th or something like that. Yes. But anyway, that next weekend, I'm in Appleton, Wisconsin for a big show there. I'll be giving you more information on that. But other than that, player, that's it.
I've been to Appleton, Wisconsin, actually. I was there several years ago I had a gig there. It was modeling stuff back at that time, back when I was younger. But Appleton is a fun place to be.
You mentioned Appleton, and it brings me back to the IWCCW that Mario Savoldi used to run. And he had a very large character by the name of Curly Moe, who was a ripoff of Curly from the Three Stooges. And every time I would interview him, he wouldn't call me Mr. Apter. He'd call me, "Oh, Mr. Appleton." So he always did that, just reminded me of that.
Other thing I wanted to do, too, before we get out of here, guys, I wanted to let everybody know I did get a chance to listen to the interview with Bill and Undertaker. Outstanding, man.
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, Teddy.
Huh?
Thank you.
I'm glad you said that, Teddy, because I forgot to bring that up, and that was an incredible interview. I wish it was all in one piece. I wanted to watch one whole video piece, starting to finish, but I understand why it was broke up that way. But it was really good, really good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
I always enjoy Undertaker. You know, me and him, we come up the ranks together. You know, me and him always been close friends. So, man, just watching.
Oh, he told me to say hello to you. We did talk about you, by the way, and also.
You should have heard what they said, Teddy.
But
I'm not
also
listening to you, Matt.
Also, he said that they had said when I was trying to set this up that we were going to do it back in April, and I think I had COVID for like 3 or 4 days, and I couldn't make the trip out to where I was WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was supposed to go do it at that time for you.
But right, and he said no, unless it's me. He's because we had a personal relationship all the way back to when he started before he was the Undertaker. Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. Unless there's something else you need to talk about, I think we're done.
Yeah. Wait a minute. What are they going to do with LA Knight now?
I don't know.
Again,
I don't know. Some of the storylines, everything to a lot of people are in flux. I said that on the last show, and I still feel that right now, that there's still not a lot of direction as to where we're going for WrestleMania yet. I assume we're going to start seeing that the next couple of months. It'll start really kind of panning out. But right now, some of the people, I don't know where they're going to go with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it is Thanksgiving. And Turkey of the Year in wrestling. We've talked about this last year. Let's talk about it now real quick. If you had to pick somebody, anybody in the wrestling business, who is your Turkey of the Year?
Dominic Mysterio.
Whoa.
Agreed.
Same one. Boy, I see y'all took the easy way. I would have to say, if it comes down to a moment for Turkey of the Year, the Turkey of the Year moment had to be the cocaine spot in NWA. I thought that was a horrible mistake.
Agree with that too. Yep.
Yeah. All right, that's it. That's your Turkeys of the Year. I'm Mac Davis with the other two Turkeys of the Year. Pro wrestling journalist Bill Apter and WWE Hall of Famer Teddy Long. We'll see you next week.
I am Smoked Turkey. How about that?
That's it. Instead of saying holla holla, let's have a gobble gobble, Teddy.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
I love it. See you at the matches.